if my cameraman would just get it right. Oh wait, I don't have a staff. We're gonna get a ding for notification right about not yet, but maybe now. There it was. So I'll wait for y'all to come in. We had a change of plans. We had a change of plans. Hey, what's up, King Charles? What's up, Taylor? Sorry, Taylor. Man, I do that to you every time, Taylor. I'm so sorry. Be severe, Claire, Steve, Bob, keeping the swine in line. Hey, what's up, Eastwood? Good to see you. Um, a lot more people are going to come in. I'm not going to be able to greet everybody as you come in. However, I have some major updates. Put a one in chat if y'all noticed the thumbnail. Did you notice the thumbnail? If not, take a quick peek. Probably going to drop out and come right back in for everybody trying to see the thumbnail. You're going to like that thumbnail. You're going to like what you see. And I'm going to have to be really careful about how much information I share. But we'll start with the beginning. I'm waiting for the room to kind of fill up just a little bit more because I owe you all an update. Today did not go as planned, but it ended up like in a divine intervention maybe sort of thing. Worked out really in the positive side of things. It worked out really well. So to start things off, so you know that we had a window, Tiffany and I had a window of time open where we were going to be able to go get some content and work on one of the 3 cases that we are involved in today. That was not able to happen. And the reason why that couldn't happen is because, unfortunately, Tiffany got sick, I guess is the right way to put it. Had an issue last night that kept us up really late and caused some scare to us. And I am here with her. Don't freak out. She's getting some tests run at the hospital right now. It's a hospital because they have the equipment to do the testing, but something's going on and she just needs to figure out what the diagnosis is. Don't freak out. So, anyway, that kept us from being it. Like, we had to use this time for this. So we weren't able to do boots to ground today. She will be fine, I'm sure, and there will be updates. But she's getting her test run right now, and I'm in the truck, in the parking lot. It's hot as fuck out here. Anyway, she wants me to update you guys on the case that we were starting today, boots to ground, which, like I said, it's kind of like a divine intervention sort of thing, because where we were planning on going today, I woke up to an email from the Attorney General's office, state of Kentucky, about the case that we were going boots to ground on. The wheels are in motion. It came out of nowhere. It's been a while. I was really surprised, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect, because just when I was like, well, we're going to have to go boots to ground on this because, the state of Kentucky government is not responding to the issue, and we're going to go put some pressure on them. I got a response. I don't know what the hell, like luck, or I don't know what to call it. But so yeah, I got the email, and that's the thumbnail. Now, I cannot tell you what case that is, but what I can tell you is that wheels are in motion, and hopefully when they investigate themselves, they might find the wrongdoing that's actually for sure there. I turned some evidence in, I'll tell you this much. I turned some proof and some law violations of actors in the state of Kentucky over to the state of Kentucky government a while back with everything they needed to prove the case. Like, I did the investigation for them, and I laid it all out, and I turned it in an email. Thank you, Donna. for Diesel and the Toy Treat Fund. Thank you so much, Donna. I'm glad you started making it to our live streams again, too. We missed you. When we did the channel transfer, we lost you for a minute there. So let me hit a heart on that. All right. Thank you so much, Donna. Very much appreciated. So forward progress, though. So I turned all this stuff in. I gave them irrefutable proof of the law violations that I turned in. And it's been a while. And I hadn't heard anything back. And I was like, these motherfuckers are just going to ignore it. That's what they're going to do. They're going to ignore it. Because put a one in chat if you're aware that the government will ignore criminal law violations that are being reported by the public when it involves one of their own in the thin blue line. Tell me a number one if you've seen that happen once or twice or a billion times in your time on YouTube watching this kind of stuff. Yeah. So I just knew it. They were going to sweep it under the rug. A whole list with like 15 for sure proven with proof that people in the thin blue line, names attached, dates attached, evidence attached. A lot of it was video evidence of people admitting to the crimes. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it, Chris Ruff. And by the way, if you're thinking it's JJ, don't do that. Don't assume. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm saying that if you're jumping to that assumption, you may or may not be wrong. This is a case that Tiffany and I got involved in some time ago, and we've been communicating with some victims, and you know how it goes. And a lot of it originally was supposed to be like stuff for us to publish on YouTube. Like that's what people reached out to us for, was wondering if we're going to rush or publish it on YouTube, tell their stories. But we kept seeing the cycle of it coming around to the same individuals, same people, over and over. And we're like, damn, yeah, we could either make a story about it and put it on YouTube, or we could give the state of Kentucky an opportunity to maybe press charges and do a proper investigation with their resources. And we thought that the right thing to do would be to give them that opportunity before we start publishing it. And that's what we chose to do. So I thought that since it's been so long since I've heard anything, that they were just going to sweep it under the rug. And then the plan was, this is one of the three cases, okay? The plan was today to go start putting boots to ground, live stream pressure on some agencies in Kentucky and ask them, what the fuck did you do with everything I sent you? What's going on? Why aren't you, taking action? Where's the investigation at? Like I said, this is in Kentucky, I'll give you that much. And that was what we were going to do. And then Tiff got sick and had a scare. And we knew we weren't going to be able to do it today because the doctor told her she had to be here. And this is the only window of opportunity we had. And then I got the email. It's so weird. I got the email. So, yeah, I'm live 2 days in a row. Steve, we're going to bring For Public Safety back to YouTube, buddy. Like, we're back full steam. We don't have a whole hell of a lot of time, but we never have. So we're just going to be, back like we were before, which is getting some shit done. We got 3 cases on our plate. 3. And what I will be doing, even though I got the response from the Attorney General's office of the state of Kentucky, which is the highest up over the top of basically every public office in the state of Kentucky, you can't get no higher than Russell Coleman's office. So now that that's been initiated as an investigation, I am going to update you all on how that investigation is going as it goes. I will do that. I can't share investigation information because the last thing we want to do is somehow hinder it or put something out there that can be used in court against whatever cause they find, probable cause they find, or whatever. We don't want to give the um, the perpetrators any kind of way out. Like they need to be held accountable all the way. They need to be held accountable for their actions, and their actions in this case is a slew. And I'm talking about an onslaught. It was a whole notepad that I had to turn the pages of, where I only used one line at a time. I didn't like use the whole piece of paper, right, real big like a kindergartner, like Todd and his crayons. I actually did it small and was like KRS, blah, blah, blah. This is the violation. Then I did the name, the date, the incident, when it occurred, and who was involved. And then I attached another paper that was just simply a printout of the Kentucky Revised Statute and the section that it applied with the highlights. So a lot like a lawyer would do it, or a investigator would do it. So, and then I attached links that proved what happened. So, yeah, I want to keep you all up to date on what's going on with that. So the perpetrators of this thing, of this case that I've reported, I'm not going to give them any way to tell a judge or a jury, oh, I've been painted by the media, this is bullshit, they're lying. I'm not going to give them any of that. I'm not going to give them the opportunity to say, well, I can't get a clean jury because everybody knows about it. We're going to hammer them. Then we're going to put it out. That's the right way to do it. We're going to hammer them with it. They're going to be held accountable to the best of our ability to press. And then we'll go from there. And then everybody gets to know exactly who it was, what it was about. And hopefully it results in actual charges, which will get published anyway. And we are, in this case, in the one of three, we are backed by, I'll tell you this much, commercial mainstream media that is doing a publication that is more than just like a news clip. Okay, this is a full-on corporate-packed publication. I can't give you too much, and it's coming on this case, and it's going to be big, and I'm going to promote the shit out of it, and hopefully you all will too, when it comes out. But it is going to be, it's fantastic, y'all. Like, I'm super excited, and I really trust the journalists that are doing this too. Like, these are journalists that we worked together with during the Jamie Knoll stuff, during the Scott County stuff, when that was going on. You know, like, I know these journalists personally that are taking care of this publication. Gosh, it's so hard to not say every word. I know these journalists personally, and I have known their work over the past 3 years or so, to have been non-biased and hammering it out and looking for the problems. Like, they're good. So I have, even though I haven't seen the result of the production, I got a pretty good idea that it's going to be thorough. And a lot of Kentucky officials are going to be hit, blindsided with some shit that they didn't even know they were looking into. Like, they didn't even know they were being seen. That's what makes it so great. It's like there are motherfuckers that are going to hear their name at about the same time that the state is going to crack down on them for the things that are going to come out. So, yeah, I mean, it's wild, man. It's what's cool is knowing that the work that Tiffany and I have done is part of it. Like, it's literally part of it. You'll see. It's part of a huge expose. It's like, really? You know, like, did we contribute to that to this extent? The answer is yes. So I'm super, super excited for that to come out. Um, you know, but part of that case, the one that's got that going on behind it, is it is affiliated with what you see on the thumbnail. It Jamie, no, Fred. We figure we kind of took care of that. You know, Misty's his wife's in prison, his daughter's in prison, he's in prison. You know, I feel like we did what we could and got some results in Clark County, Indiana. Not just Clark, but the corruption ring that we set out to expose in Indiana. We feel like we exposed that. So it's not that we're not still watching, it's that we're kind of moving to the next real bad thing going on. And it happened, like one of the worst right now is in the state of Kentucky. Put a one in chat if you agree that the government of the state of Kentucky, I'm talking about the state police commissioner, I'm talking about people like JJ and Sheriff Wimpy and like half of these officers. Put a one in chat if you agree that Kentucky fucking government is out of control. Criminals. Put a one in chat if you agree that the Kentucky government is full of fucking criminals. That's what we're after now. So you might call it Kentuckiana Government Exposure 2.0. The sequel to the 4 Public Safety and Official Misconduct YouTube channels. The sequel. Deuce. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. And I think that you all will be entertained by, and I think that you'll appreciate following us through all of the different cases that we know about, just the ones that me and Tiffany know about. It's overwhelming how many cases that you can get this information out of that all lead back to the same corruption ring. That like it's a big one, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking different officials, different employees from different counties working in different sectors, and they're together. It is a ring, just like Indiana had going on. You know, and the one in Indiana with Jamie, it went all the way up to the presidential level. It went all the way up to literally the Republican Party through WinRed. The officials that were involved with Jamie Knoll through his Republican Party chair, and I don't care about Democrat, Republican in this, I'm just telling you the facts. The officials that were involved in the theft of the tax money from Utica still have not returned the money. Even though Jamie has been indicted, been charged, been found guilty, and been imprisoned, and been ordered to get the money back and pay it back in restitution, the public officials that got that money, the Republican Party and WinRed, they're keeping it. They know it's stolen funds. None of them that I know of returned a single red cent. So a lot of people are like, Chris, why are you political? Why don't you like Republicans? Well, that's one fucking reason. Because I happen to know personally a shit ton of Republicans who stole fucking people's tax money. You know, anyway, it's both sides, y'all. It's both fucking sides. I don't know that many Democrat cases that I could get it. Because I don't set out to try to find something wrong with a party. I set out knowing that a crime or some crime has already taken place. And then I investigate those. That's what I do. So, like, it's going to be hit or miss of what it leads to and who's involved. It just so happens that in Indiana, when it came to Jamie Knoll, it led back to many people in the Republican Party across the nation, all the way up to Mike Pence at the time. They were involved in some sketchy fucking shit, too. Like, really sketchy shit. A lot of the stuff that I did not publish because it was so personal that it deserved to be private in some people's cases. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even say it now because I would feel immoral about publishing what happened to some people if I was to share it now. Some of the cases were that fucking bad. And we're talking about politicians being involved that are currently in the political market. When you start digging on government, you will find that they are all either filth themselves or knowingly working in a filthy environment that they can't wash it off when they go home. That's the only two types of government officials and employees there are. They are either corrupt pieces of shit that have done wrong after wrong after wrong, or they work at a place that it's happening around them so much that they can't scrub it off with a Brillo pad when they go home. Which is probably why a lot of them end up beating the shit out of their wives and kids and getting drunk and things like that. They probably have a really hard time being involved in that lifestyle as a whole. And I talk to whistleblowers all the time. All the time. So many I don't even know if I could count them sitting here. Like, it would take me quite a bit to go through and think, and I would probably miss some. But I've had a lot of whistleblower contact. I'm kind of known locally for being a reach out, being a conduit for whistleblowers to contact. And that being said, there are a lot of government employees or former government employees or recently former government employees that didn't want to conduct any of that dirty shit themselves, and maybe refrained from it, but they realized that their environment was so colluded by it that they had to tell people about it. They had to try to get some accountability for some of the actors in their own environment that, like, they just can't live with all of it. That's the way it is. That's the way it is with whistleblowers. Whistleblowers reach out. They might be current government. They'll reach out and they'll say, look, I knew there was going to be problems when I got this job. I don't disagree with you when you say that there's so much corruption, because I see it for myself. I'm not going to lie. It's here, and they go, but the reason I'm reaching out is because this one, Chris, is past my boundaries and I can't deal with it. Like, I need your help. And they're not saying, just Chris, help me. They're saying, I need help. And I happen to be one of the people, the few people, should be a lot more, that are totally available for them. I make myself, as an American citizen, I make myself totally available for that. You can use me all day. So whistleblowers, if you're watching, go ahead, reach out, 04publicsafety@gmail.com. I don't share the whistleblower's information unless they want to go public. But there's already a lot, and I already have a lot on my plate, and I've already got proof of everything on my plate, and I want to do boots to ground like I was. I think I was more effective. I think Tiffany and I as a team are extremely effective boots to ground when we know about these cases and we already have everything we need evidentiary, and it's time to put the pressure on them. So, Tiff and I have come to the conclusion that is what we need to be doing. What is so fucking funny is that, y'all remember the KKK group from Carrollton? Put a one in chat if you know who I'm talking about. Turned out to be, they call themselves 3%ers, but they're also so much like KKK you can't tell the difference. The group from Carrollton, y'all know, look at them ones flying. Apparently these motherfuckers, not only are they still stalking us, but they're going around telling people in government, which, in the middle of that, they're going around telling other people in government that me and Tiffany have some kind of judge's court order that we're not allowed to pursue what we do on YouTube in the state of Kentucky. Fucking liars. Why are racist fucking bigot pieces of shit always fucking liars too? Like, can't you be one or the other, Greg? Why you gotta be both every time? Because I'm sure that people on just one side, like maybe a person who's just a racist bigot doesn't also want to be labeled as a liar if they don't lie. But because all of you do it, you all get to wear the labels. Maybe somebody just wants to be a liar But they get labeled a racist bigot because all racist bigots are motherfucking liars. Greg, why are you a liar, Greg? Why is everyone that watched Michael Kaiser and supported Michael Kaiser, why are all of you lying fucking bigots? Why is it, Todd? Why are you a lying fucking bigot? Why is it that everyone in your chat that's not watching you to fucking laugh at your stupidity, why are all the people supporting you, Todd, lying fucking bigots? Why? Ask yourself that. It's a good question. But that group is running around spreading false information. And if nothing else, I don't mind putting boots to the ground just to fucking prove you wrong. Just shits and giggles for me. Oh, giggles. How about that name? Giggles. Shits and giggles. Hey, what up, Angry Vet? You finally made a live stream. So, Tiff is going to be okay. I'm a little bit worried about what the results are. I don't want to say what I'll let her tell you her medical stuff, but I will say she did have to come here for some testing about what happened, and it was quick. It happened quick last night. She was just like, I'm not feeling well, got to get something done. So we did an urgent care thing. Didn't get much sleep. So she's here getting tested for it now, but it's not like an emergency situation, so do not panic. She's going to be fine. There's just something going on. God, just saying it like that, I can only imagine, the disgusting, slanderous fucking stalkers that we have. They're going to try to make something sexual out of it. It's not. Has nothing to do with anything sexual. Just something that everybody at some point in life has probably had going on. Hanky Spanky says pregnant. Now you see why I don't say nothing. I'm not going to say yes or no. No, it's not a good thing. She's not feeling well. So, but she'll be all right. She's a tough girl. She just has to see what it is and get medication for it, just like anybody else when you don't feel good. So it's kind of ironic that I got that email this morning, because it kind of almost would have messed me up, because where we were going, we would have picked another case probably, but it would have completely screwed us up, because everything that we're doing, the three cases that we're working on, they're all three totally separate areas and places that we'd have to go, and records that we're going to need to request. They're in completely separate areas. So it probably would have thrown me off, because I totally knew which one we had time for, what office we were going to, what we were going to say when we got there, exactly what it was about. I had everything prepared to bring with me. And then, had Tiff not gotten sick, we would have probably already been out and going for it by the time I'd seen the email. And but the email is like a resolution to this point, because what you're seeing on that thumbnail is a piece of an email in which, that's why I felt like I needed to go put some pressure on, and because I would have been expecting that email from the pressure. Does that make sense? That would be the result that I would have expected out of putting public pressure. If we had gone today, would have been okay, we'll send you the case information and tell you where we're at with it. Well, that's what I got. It's out of the blue. It's clear blue sky. It's so weird. But it works out. So Tiff gets to see what's going on and get the medicine she's going to need for whatever this situation is. We didn't have to put that much pressure on the agency that we were going to start at today for the case. It's actually, there's still more work that needs to be done, but getting a confirmation from the Attorney General's office of the state of Kentucky that the investigation is going on, and a confirmation that what I've done so far has been fruitful, that is a good result. I am satisfied with that for now. God, I wish I could share more with you. I wish I could share more. I know you all are going to be so happy to see the end result. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, because at the end of the day, the government is on their own team. So even if they totally fucking catch each other, even if they completely fucking go through the system on one another, and charges are filed, and the case is proven, and they go to court, there's still a chance that they'll just not be held accountable. That's how the government works. They investigate themselves and they determine, or they find, no wrongdoing at all. Like, they might find and determine wrongdoing and still treat it as if there was no wrongdoing. I just watched a video while I was waiting on Tiff here, before I started my live stream, where an officer in Georgia, y'all might be familiar with this case, he had pulled over a guy who had just gotten out of prison after 16 years on false charges. He finally got released. His case was proven to have not been him. And he gets out and he's driving down the highway, and some fucking Georgia trooper or Georgia sheriff's deputy or something pulls him over and ends up starting some fucking shit with him. And put it on in chat if y'all know what I'm talking about. And the cop ends up shooting this guy. They get into a fight and the cop ends up shooting this guy. Well, it turns out this same cop has been involved in countless other incidents in which he's not following protocol policy. Like, he don't know how to do the fucking job. And look, our police, the police, which is way down here in the government sectors, these guys, they get away with being fucking anything. They hire the worst. They have good employees in that little sector, I'm sure, like people that actually care about following what it says to do in their workbook, in their handbook for work, right? They got some that do that, but they're right next to ones that are like, I don't give a fuck, I've been trying to beat people's ass my whole life, and that's all they care about doing. So, apparently, like that case, why, here's our question as the citizens, right? Why is that cop still copping? Why did it take this many fucking fuck ups? Because anywhere else you work in the world, you fuck up 7 or 8 times to the extent in which it's not just documented, but a huge issue. When you work somewhere, anywhere, listen up, government, when people have jobs and they fuck up to that degree, it usually only takes 2 before you fire them. It's easy. Go find another employee. You realize now that one ain't no good. Get rid of them. You can't just keep shifting them and listen up, other departments. Quit fucking hiring them. They will get jobs. You don't have to fucking pamper each other. You don't need to be on a fucking team. Police know this, and they know that you're going to fucking hire them at the next fucking county over. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to be police. These are physically fit individuals with some type of skills of some sort in life. Like maybe their skills washing fucking dishes, but they can go wash fucking dishes. At least washing dishes, they're less apt to fucking kill anybody. Right? So stop hiring the pigs that get fired for being in violation where they have caused harm and damage to citizens. We're done dealing with it. It just continues. It continues, and we suffer, and it gives YouTubers content forever. Maybe I don't want to do this forever. Maybe I want to do this and they stop, and then I can do something else, right? Maybe I don't want to do government accountability stuff forever. Maybe I would like to stop. Well, guess what? I would love to stop. I would love to run out of cases. I would love to run out of content. I would love it if you slowed me down so much because cases were so few and far between that I can't make a living off of it. I would love that, government. But guess what? No, you make it in abundance. It's at every single fucking government building. Every one of them. Right down to the fucking Bureau of Motor Vehicles. It's everywhere. You all are giving people that are trying to make content out of holding government accountable, you're making it so easy. You're making it so easy that any fucking Nimrod, all they got to do is pick up a camera. They don't even have to speak English. They can pick up a camera and grab a pen and a piece of paper, walk in a fucking building, boom, they got their content because the government's going to fucking do something stupid in every one of them fucking buildings. I guarantee you there are a percentage of employees in every one of these buildings who's going to do something fucking illegal. That ain't my fault. How about we start working together to combat the crime, to hold criminals accountable, especially when you've given them qualified immunity when they sign that piece of paper saying, I'll take the job. How about especially them? And listen, people, voters, pay more attention to who you're electing. Please, what are you doing? What are you doing with these elections? Thank God I'm not included in that fucking mess. I don't know if I'd be able to fucking handle it being responsible for voting for some of these fucks that get voted for. I didn't vote for Scarborough. I didn't vote for Wimpy. I didn't vote for Jamie. Maybe just stop voting. Maybe. You know, a lot of people tell you that you need to vote. Well, maybe you need to vote. Maybe you need to vote with more education behind your vote. Stop voting for people because, oh, well, I went to high school with them. They were a cool kid when I went to high school with them. Yeah, they maybe did some shit to hurt some other people, but they've grown out of that, and I did that too. No, motherfuckers, stop comparing. Pay attention to if they're capable of doing the fucking job or just don't vote. That's a huge issue. So we're putting the bosses, which are the ones you vote for, in as the people, and then you don't babysit them at all. People aren't babysitting their public officials at all. You hardly see anybody in the council meeting until something's already erupted. Then you see a handful of people in the council meeting. You don't see people going to the functions to hold their government officials responsible. You just let them get away with it. I have gone into council meetings where they are putting millions of dollars on the table when the budget, like millions, would fucking destroy their budget if they spend it wrong. It does. It does. I've watched the budget get destroyed. Jeffersonville City, for example. I watched a fucking assistant chief of police admit to working a $2 million vehicle deal off with the president of the board on the phone, admitted to saying, yeah, I know I wasn't supposed to talk to him on the phone, and we actually worked this deal out, so it's already, and then there was an issue over that got raised, and the board still gave him the $2 million while the fucking company that the cars were being purchased for was under investigation for being involved in corruption. It happened right there at the council meeting. And yes, some people raised some flags, but that kind of shit with your money is happening constantly. Nobody goes, nobody watches, nobody's there, nobody's paying attention after they elect these individuals. I'm talking right down to your county council presidents. I'm talking right down to your city council presidents. I'm talking about your, oh my God, what about their auditors? Holy shit, we found out the auditor in Clark County, Indiana was banging Jamie Knoll. I can't make this shit. I don't need to make this shit up. It's not even that wild when you realize that it's happening in almost every jurisdiction. It's not even that wild, really. It should be, but it happens so much. It happens so much that it's like, I'm not surprised at all. Yeah. And look, it goes all the way from the whatever you can think of. I can't think of what the lowest necessity elected official is, but from the very lowest all the way up to the very highest. Every one of them. The problems are equal across the board about who you're electing, all the way through the whole scale. We see so many responsible for running criminal syndicates right underneath their fucking noses with these agencies. Essentially, even if they're not involved, they know about it, they're letting it happen, they don't do nothing whenever flags get raised. That's the same shit. It's happening under every single, because anytime you got an elected official, they're over a jurisdiction that has a lot of different government involvement, right? And that's the elected official's job to oversee. So, people don't realize the structure of the government. That was one of the first things that I learned when and it took me a while, but that was one of the first things that I focused on to actually learn to even be able to do any of what I'm doing. Any of it. It's huge. Learn the ladder of the government. Learn who's who, what their duties are, what their bosses are, who's their boss, who do you reach out to. I mean, motherfuckers just be calling cops over everything, and cops are like the least dependable in most situations to contact if you got a situation, and they'll fucking steer you wrong. Like when you call police and you're talking about somebody that they fucking play golf with or get bought dinner for or are using the gas card illegally under, and it's okay, you're usually going to get an answer that's going to steer you off of whatever it is you're trying to call and tell them about. By cops. That's what cops will do. Cops will be like, I don't think there's anything criminal about what you're calling about. That's what they'll do, even though, and the whole thing is you called the wrong place in the first place, because it's not even a police duty for half the situations that you know what I'm saying? You need to learn the ladder. You need to learn the infrastructure. You need to understand the politics, like whose job is what they're responsible for. If you want to be responsible in your position as a citizen under the infrastructure of the check and balance system that we have for our government here in America. It's not that complicated. It's really not. It just takes some effort and some understanding and some studying and some Googling, and just figure it out one step at a time, and I'm trying to help you here as I learn. I've done that all along. I know that 98% of my content is no longer available for that, where most of that learning curve happened and I published, but hopefully you watched it. And then of course there's always OMC's channel where she was live streaming during the majority of those. So again, mods, Angry Vet, you got a wrench, throw OMC's channel link up please, if you can. So I mean, you can go back and watch her channel. You'll see a lot of that, where we learned a lot of these things. Like, I didn't know, if you'd asked me 5 years ago who the district attorney answers to in say, for example, Kentucky, I wouldn't have known the answer to that. If you'd asked me that question 5 years ago. Today I know that it is the state's attorney general's office, the office of the attorney general, and it would be the elected attorney general that would be responsible for all of the district attorneys within the state of Kentucky. I know that now. I would have never been able to, I would have thrown some guesses out there 5 years ago, but I wouldn't be able to say I know that information. It's something that it's easy to learn. I'm a retard. I'm a dumbass. I'm just some old Indiana country boy who's figured some shit out in life and has some life skills and raked in on it, worked hard and done my part to learn what I needed to learn to get by in life. So if I can do it, you can do it. I guess that's kind of it. That's all I got. It's kind of cool hanging out with you all while I'm waiting on Tiff here. It's hot and boring in this truck. I almost fell asleep before I went live. But I might actually go ahead and take a nap. um, yeah. Y'all want to do some Q&A and chat, or do you want to just wait for the next thing to come out? We got another case we're going to start on since this one has gotten an investigation going. The one we were going to do today, yeah, that's an update. So the case that we were going to start boots to ground on today is going to it's still in the 3-case plans, but it's going to sort of shift. And I think that our next window of opportunity, which might end up being tomorrow for a little bit, and always keep your eye out on OMC's channel for a live stream. You never know what's going to happen when you question these fucks. But we're going to jump to case 2. I know exactly which one I want to start digging on now that I've got a reason to believe that the state's actually doing case 1 going. That's going. At least that confirmation is allegedly a confirmation from the government saying it's going. So, yeah, this shit's about to hit the fan, Jason. You are not wrong, man. The shit's been hitting the fan for a while, but it's like imagine it like a TV screen turning on and you missed half of it, right? Because it happened behind the scenes. Y'all are gonna hit the switch on a story that we've been doing shit on, and shit's already gonna be all over the fucking room, and the fan's gonna be it's gonna be wild shit, man. It's gonna be wild because it's a lot. It involves a lot of agencies. It involves a lot of people. It involves many people you're already very familiar with from YouTube, like from my channel, right? If you were following the old channel. I mean, it involves so many agencies in Kentucky, and it comes after a promise of a shift in the Attorney General. So I think we may or may not end up at the end of this. We may or may not end up being able to give specific credit for one promise that was made as a campaign, which I don't ever trust that, but you never know. They might. This Russell Coleman. So we used to have that fuck stick that was fucking corrupt as shit. What, can anybody help me out with his name? He's the one that they had protest on his front lawn, and he had like 60 people arrested. What was his fucking name? The last Kentucky Attorney General. Somebody with Google help me out. Not Russell Coleman, but the one that Russell Coleman just took the seat of. Daniel. What was it? Daniel. Damn, is it Daniel? Help me out, y'all. Kentucky Attorney General last term. The one that just got beat by Russell Coleman. He was real bad. He caused all kinds of issues in the state of Kentucky. He put the current Kentucky commissioner is responsible for letting him run fucking wild for the Kentucky State Police. The one that, is the reason why Kentucky State Police are so out of control. Y'all remember his name? Daniel something. Fuck. Anyway, he's gone, and the campaign against him was this Russell Coleman, who was saying the Kentucky government has a lot of problems. He's underdoing it, but he was saying Kentucky government's got a lot of problems, and he was saying that if he became Kentucky's Attorney General, that he was going to revamp the public corruption sector of that department and clean it the fuck up and start getting to work on how far behind the state of Kentucky was. Daniel Cameron, thank you, Mr. Dolly. That's it. Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron was shit. He was shit as an attorney general. He was a corrupt piece of shit. And if you ask me, responsible in his portion as the person in charge of the public officials for the whole state, he's the reason why for 8 fucking years this shit's gone unchecked in the state of Kentucky. How many fucking employees of the state of Kentucky are we watching for ourselves? Y'all put a one in chat if y'all watch Civil Rights Lawyers channel. Y'all watch his channel? Or same number, put a one in chat if you watch Civil Rights Lawyer, Lackluster, shit, I think there's been several big channels. Southern Draw Law, I think, did some. Yeah, he did some. Obviously, my channel's done a lot. But how many of y'all have seen Kentucky, 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 Kentucky? It's always Kentucky. They're all over. It's so fucking obvious. Well, that was Daniel Cameron's responsibility to keep control of. That fucker was one of them. Well, the new guy campaigned on cleaning that mess up. Russell Coleman campaigned on it. I don't care what side of the fucking, which color, you know, his political party. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Does anybody even know? Is he Republican, Democrat? Fucking, I don't know. It doesn't matter. If he makes good on just the one promise that he campaigned on, which that part I do know, if he actually cleans up the lack of the public corruption in their division for the last 8 years, it's going to be, well, it might be what we're witnessing. It might be the thing, like a huge catalyst of what I'm talking about. Cleaning up the government in the state of Kentucky. And I'm sure it's going to be fought by other politicians, probably all the way up the chain, because it'll have a huge effect. Like, when the state of Kentucky gets cleaned up of their dirty government employees, that's going to have a negative effect on the government as a whole, because it's their face that's going to get right to the fucking mud. The government. Get this through your head, guys. The ones who think that there's two sides and one side in the government's good and the other side's bad. No, 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 no. It's the government is the one side and you are the other. That's how it really is. So when, it doesn't matter if it's red or blue, anybody in their team behind the thin blue line, when they have to fucking, when they watch others hold themselves accountable in there, they all fight over it. So what you can expect to witness, in my opinion, this is what I foresee. I think that there will be other politicians throughout the nation that are going to be saying, well, you need to get rid of that guy, Russell Coleman, that's out there fucking tearing shit up. No, what he's doing, he's trying to, like, even if he fucks a whole bunch of other shit up, which we'll have to hold him accountable for that, if he's actually cleaning up the public corruption unit of the office of the Attorney General for the state of Kentucky, if that's the one thing that he's working on, you better believe that it's good that he's doing it. You better believe it, because you've seen it with your own eyes if you've watched any of the channels I mentioned. You've seen it with your own eyes. You know about the bad sheriffs. You know about the involvement in corruption. You know about them taking paychecks from television shows while they're supposed to be acting in their official capacities. You know about how they beat the fuck out of people for minor traffic violations and then write bullshit in their reports to cover each other's asses. You know about all the malicious prosecution cases where the prosecutors are covering for the bad cops. You know about all this shit. And Kentucky has done it to the extent over the past 8 years in which they're at the top of the charts on international television. On some of your most dependable, trustworthy sources. Civil rights lawyer, he's covering the fuck out of Kentucky's government. You might trust me. I'm covering the fuck out of Kentucky's government. I'm not saying that other states aren't bad. I'm saying those motherfuckers are at the top of the bad scale. Kentucky is fucked. Kentucky is fucked. I called Kentucky State Police because there was a dude who had already threatened to fucking kill me, and we needed a clear path to walk into the courthouse, right? They're wearing fucking guns. They made threats to kill us. They're only there for me and Tiff. And we got a very innocent situation that we had to protect. Heck, we had to be there. And we called the police because they're standing there after making threats on our lives with their guns on, there for us. And we say, you might want to get an officer here to make sure that the people you've been protecting that are tampering with our, obstructing our legal process, just have one of your pigs stand here would probably be a wise thing for you to do, officer. And I was talking to the highest up in that jurisdiction at all. He's the one that gets on the phone with me, right? Like, he's the one that gets on the phone with me. When they find out it's me calling or showing up, it's always this same dude. He's the head of Post 4, right? Tell me why this motherfucker's like, nah. Well, there you go, Kentucky. That's your problem. And then here's the answer to the purpose why it was more important than just worrying about if it was Chris and Tiffany and their loved ones that get killed. Wasn't 2 weeks later, it wasn't 2 weeks after that, that two people were gunned down in that fucking parking lot. But it's a completely different case. But the cops of Kentucky don't give a fuck. They can get notice previous that there are dangerous people threatening the lives of individuals who are trying to walk into their courtrooms in the state of Kentucky, and the highest up of the police will go, so there's your problem, Kentucky. So let's hope that now that Cameron is out, that at the very least the new Attorney General's office, who has reached out to me for the case that I reported and said that they are doing an investigation, and there's more to that, but let's just hope that this new AG at least does some good work towards his campaign promise of cleaning up the public corruption in the state of Kentucky when it comes to their government employees. Fingers crossed, guys. I don't know when we're going to have a window, but it's going to be real soon. So catch us on case 2, which I want to tell you all where we're going. It's going to be exciting. We have a lot of people who are going to get their feathers ruffled because of where we're going for the next case. I can't wait. I can't wait to show up there. They're going to be all fucked up. The YouTube's going to be on fire. All our haters and shit. They're going to be like, oh, goddamn, I thought we finished this shit. You can't stop us. You can't fucking stop us. We love y'all. I'll tell Tiffany you love her, and we'll see you very soon on the second case, I guess.